It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on! There's a lot of time right now. There's on it again. Floating up there. Picked off. Kaiser White grabs it in midair. And the Cardinals are going to hang on and win this game.
Kevin Burkhardt on the call, Fox Sports. That's going to sting. Twice now, the San Francisco 49ers have played divisional opponents, and twice they had 10-point leads in the fourth quarter, and they're 0-2 in those games. First in SoFi Stadium, now at Levi's Stadium, where the field was 100 degrees, but I don't want to hear excuses today. I want to hear from the fans. 888-957-9570. That's the number to call in. Cardinals 24, 49ers 23, as the Niners are now 2-3 on the season. And they have the Seattle Seahawks coming up on Thursday in Seattle. So short week, disappointing loss, just sloppy. And the theme of this weekend in sports, it seems like, and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All of you just getting off work, getting ready to work, getting ready for school. Stay cool out there. I think this is like the last hot day of the week. I think it's going to be a little toasty today, and then it'll cool down the rest of the week. But you got through all the hard stuff. God, it was like 87 degrees in my apartment yesterday. It was just really humid and sticky and gross. We're going to power through today because the theme of this weekend was upset city. Whether it was in college football, whether it was in the NFL, upsets galore. Hell, Saturday night, Miami on upset alert until Cal went full Cal, blowing a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, it's what the Bears do. Oh, just a gutting loss. And unfortunately, a sign of things to come for the weekend in Bay Area sports as the 49ers also gagged away a lead, albeit not as big as Cal Berkeley. But we expect that from Cal. We don't expect that from the 49ers. We don't expect losses like we've seen already to the Rams and to the Cardinals, a division that Brock Purdy has owned. So now, not only are you 2-3, but you gave life to the Cardinals, who, if they were facing 1-4 in the face, their season might have been over, like the Rams are now, who lost to the Green Bay Packers yesterday. They're 1-4. Have they won that game? Everyone's alive in the division. Hell, maybe the Rams still are alive. I don't know. The way the Niners are playing, and I thought they'd run away with this division, doesn't look like that. Now, you want to be positive. You want to do that. You want to do the spin zone, if you will. I think Bonte threw it out on the Twitterverse yesterday. By the way, we're streaming on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Go ahead and search 95.7 The Game on any of those platforms. Like and subscribe. Give me a follow at Spadoni_Joe. If you want just miserable Raider tweets and other Bay Area sports content. And we'll get to Bo Nix later and Antonio Pierce. Business decisions being made yesterday in Denver. AP? Huh? Is that what we're going to say? What a joke. But speaking of the Niners, it's just watching that game in this season. It's unpredictable. I don't know what I'm going to see. Like, this has been one of the weirdest starts to an NFL season that I could remember. And this is from Benjamin Solak, who is formerly, I believe, with The Ringer, but now he's with ESPN, little stats and info guy. It's very good. Highly recommend give him a follow at Benjamin Solak. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but the two biggest underdogs of the week, Cardinals as 7.5-point dogs, and the Giants as 7-point dogs, won outright. 7 points or more underdogs are now 7-2 outright on the season. That's pretty incredible. And again, it just goes to show any given week, any given Sunday, it's more so than ever, though. Like, there has not been one team where I look at that has just dominated week in and week out, that haven't had to sweat a little bit. Even the Chiefs that are 4-0. And who are they playing tonight? Who the Chiefs got tonight? They got someone? right? Chiefs. Saints, that's right. Derek Carr. Thank you. I knew they were playing tonight. I know they didn't have a bye week because they have their bye week right before facing the Niners, and we'll get to that because you got the Seahawks and then you got the Chiefs coming up for San Francisco. So this could get disastrous sooner rather than later, but maybe it's a good thing that you have such a quick turnaround and that bad taste is going to be in your mouth for just a few days, and you could release all that anger and anxiety and tension on Thursday in a divisional game. You're third already within the first 6 weeks of the season, and that's a Seahawks team that's also coming off a brutal loss. You think your loss was bad, 49ers fans? I feel like the Seahawks, Dexter Lawrence, hell of a play special teams wise, but the blocked field goal that would have tied it, potentially sent it to overtime for the Seattle, ends up being a 10-point swing, and Danny Dimes and Brian Daboll get it done. So 888-957-9570. I want to hear from all the Niners fans. What went wrong yesterday? What was the most frustrating aspect of yesterday? I mean, you can say what went wrong was Jake Moody getting diagnosed with a high ankle sprain, trying to make a tackle. That made things very complicated for Kyle Shanahan, but it also made him more aggressive. And you did see a more aggressive 49ers offense. I don't know if it was totally in part because of Jake Moody. Obviously, some of it has to do that, but just the game plan. You heard Tom Brady kind of pick up on it during the broadcast, and we'll get to him in a little bit because Tom Brady, I think, gets a lot of hate. I think he's improved, but there's obviously room for improvement, even for the GOAT, especially in a new field for him being a broadcaster. I thought he was a little hit and miss, but by no means did I think he was a horrible listen. I think people were crushing him early on. I didn't listen early on, so maybe he was just a lot worse, and he's gotten a lot better. I don't know, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But he was alluding to Brock Purdy and his performance in the overall game plan like Matt Ryan looked with Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta. He was saying, this is a different offense that I'm used to seeing. I haven't seen a Kyle Shanahan offense like this since Matt Ryan in Hotlanta, when he was spraying that ball around, when he was an MVP, when he was in full control of the offense, driving the ball down the field. The problem with that is Jordan Mason was averaging 6 yards a carry. He was pounding that ball, man. Overall, they had 26 carries for 153 yards. Garendo was getting in on the action. Brock Purdy had a little scramble action. Debo, they tried to do it a couple times. Wasn't really working very well, but they were running the ball efficiently until, well, this happened.
First and goal, Mason on the pitch. As he gets to the edge, and he fumbled the football. Oh boy! Everyone down on the scrum. Who's got it? Arizona recovers. Oh my goodness! It's Wilson who came out of the pile with it.
Just an absolute disaster scenario for the San Francisco 49ers, looking to put the game potentially on ice. Gives the Cardinals hope again, but that's what happens when you let a team linger. Shout out to Cranberries. Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? The 49ers did. And this has been a theme, letting teams hang around longer than they should. The Niners in the past, maybe they get away with it, but this season, it doesn't look like they're getting away with it. So if you let a team like Arizona that has the firepower on offense, and James Conner, I know the stats, you look at it, it's 19 carries for 86 yards, really? The stats do not do that justice. James Conner worked his ass off yesterday. And especially late in that game, he was the one carrying 49ers. He was the one that was dictating the pace of play. Kyler Murray obviously has the big 30-yard run for the touchdown, but you look at his overall carries, 7 for 83, and he had some massive ones on that final drive as well. And overall, his stat line doesn't look all that spectacular. 19 for 30 through the air for a touchdown and a pick, but again, you lose the turnover battle, or at least tie it, because there's obviously the blocked field goal return for a touchdown. And the one game the special teams looks like it's heading in the right direction, what happens? You lose your kicker. It's just, when it rains, it pours. We've been saying that through these Niners losses, but it's true. When you don't take care of the football on your own end it negates what you're doing elsewhere, and especially in special teams. When you got the play of the game, it felt like you coughed it up. And you know what? I'm not going to get mad at Jordan Mason today. You know why? This is his first full workload. This was bound to happen at some point. It's unfortunate it happened there, but you know what? You got to live with that. From the Comcast Business Text line, 888-957-9570. Talk about the 49ers loss to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday. They are 2-3 on a short week, heading over to Seattle on Thursday Night Football. So everything's going to be reworked, revamped quickly here on 95.7 The Game, and it is a Monster Monday here. So we want to hear from all of you all day long. You don't want to go anywhere else than 95.7 The Game. Bonte and Shasky, they're fired up. Steiny and Goo, Willard and Dibbs, everyone is fired up. No, I'm not talking about Warriors preseason basketball. Congratulations, Lindy, Waters, whatever the hell you want to call them, on a game-winning shot in Hawaii. Yay.
Yay!
Thank you, Steiny. Great.
I'm out.
Yeah. 650. So done with Shanahan. Tired of hearing what a genius he is. How many blown leads in the fourth do we have to have before we get rid of him? It's a little strong. I think if you get rid of Kyle Shanahan, just judging by some of the losses I saw over the weekend, you would have a plethora of teams waiting to take him. Doesn't mean you can't be frustrated with him, 650. I feel you. 16 points of total offense against that Arizona Cardinals defense. It's borderline unacceptable. Not even borderline. It is unacceptable. Jaden freaking Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury dropped 42 on that ass last week in Arizona. The Buffalo Bills have dropped 34 on them. That defense was reeling. Yeah, Budda Baker made a play. Great. You couldn't name anyone else on that defense. If I gave you 20 tries, you couldn't name anyone else. Isaiah Simmons? No, he's not on that team anymore. He was actually the one I think that returned the touchdown yesterday for the Giants. J.J. Watt? No, he's not on that team anymore. Calais Campbell? Not on that team anymore. You couldn't name anyone. So 16 total points from the 49ers when they had Mason running the ball well, when they had Brock Purdy. You know, I don't think it was his best game. Certainly not his worst. When you had George Kittle and Debo out there, we had Brandon freaking Ayuk I haven't even mentioned yet. We're not going to talk a lot about him because you know what? He had a great performance in a loss. Hell, first quarter, this happens.
Purdy to throw it again. Top still in deep, has a man far side. It is caught out there. And a nice catch it is by Ayuk. Did you see him still in there? Brandon Ayuk still going all the way down around the 15.
I got to be honest, I did love the random Tom Brady noises yesterday were really funny to me. Oh, yeah. He was doing like a Tony Romo, but it was like even more of a, I enjoyed it. Hey, at least I heard some of his enthusiasm coming through there. Now, he's a rookie still. Maybe he's going to learn not to making all the noises during Kevin Burkhardt's calls. I don't think Burkhardt minds. He understands who he's working with. But Ayuk, 53-yard reception there. And he got some yak, obviously. And he ended up with, 150, 100-something yards? Something ridiculous? I have it right here. 147 yards. He was great for me in fantasy. Carried me. Much-needed victory. We're back in it in the 95.7 league. 2-3. We're fighting back. We're fighting through adversity. All right? Just like the 49ers. We're fighting. But 16 points total and 0 in the second half? Getting goose-egged? That's... You know, you can come in here and you want to yell about Nick Sorensen and all that. I'm not here for that today. I'm just not. That defense was gassed on that final drive. And no, we're not blaming the weather because both teams had to deal with it. And quite frankly, I think Arizona practices and plays in air-conditioned, domed stadiums. So if anything, you should have had the advantage over Arizona in a weird way because all they have is AC over in Arizona. They can't practice outdoors there. It's 100+ degrees 90% of the year over there. God, it was hot yesterday, though. Got to be honest. It was hot. And it was pretty crazy. Did you guys see that picture? I think Bonte said it. So, 49er fans yesterday, I want to hear from the fans. 888-957-9570 that were at the game. Were there really fans just in the concourse watching the game on a big screen because they couldn't handle the heat? That's insane. At that point, just go home and watch it on your TV. I know you spent the money, so you want the atmosphere, but man, that is brutal. Absolutely brutal. And a brutal loss for the 49ers, 24-23. Kyle Shanahan gives his summary of the loss.
Since their guys getting tired, since our guys getting tired, it was a long game. Everyone battled. I thought we were wearing them down as we were going down there to run on the 1st and goal. And then I thought we had a great chance. I thought we did real good on D, stopping them, getting them into that 4th and down. We had an all-out blitz. Thought it was really good defense, but an unbelievable play by their quarterback. He had no one blocked there and just backpedaled and retreated and threw it up and found the right guy that kept him on the field. And then we got a little sloppy with tackling towards the end there, but held him to a field goal and would have loved the chance to go on that drive, but ended up getting another tip there and another turnover.
Both teams are tired. I'm tired just scootering into the building today because there's 98% humidity in San Francisco right now. I just looked on my screen. 98%. So Miami Hurricanes came all the way to Cal and to the Bay Area, and they left their humidity. Thank you, Miami. Appreciate it.
Felt like home for them.
Yeah, it's great. That's why they came back. Maybe that is why they came back. The weather. They were built for it. Cal wasn't. Nursing that 20-point lead. Oh, just brutal. Just brutal. Just think there was someone out there this weekend that went both to that Cal game and the 49ers game and had to deal with both of those losses.
Give that guy the day off. If you went to both of those games, you deserve today off of work.
What was the worst loss? 888-957-9570. We can play that game. Cal, it's got to be Cal. Well, actually, no. I'm not going to say Cal. Because didn't some of us kind of expect that? Right? I know it sucks to say. It was a great day at College Game Day. And we'll get back to the 49ers here in a second because I did want to give Cal Berkeley their love. That was an incredible atmosphere. They were lining up, some people at 11:30 at night prior because College Game Day gets started, what? Was it 6 o'clock local or 3 o'clock in the morning local? Something crazy. But you had McAfee there. You had Herb Street. You had Reese Davis. You had Desmond. Everyone was there. Nick Saban was loving it. It was a great atmosphere, and it really put Berkeley, I feel like, on the map as far as a college vibe is concerned, because I think a lot of people, and especially with college football, where do we always go? We go to, we've been to the Iowas, the Nebraskas, the Michigans, Texas. You go to Penn State, Florida. You go to everywhere else. You don't go to Northern California for game day. They just don't. And I think a lot of people, because of that, sleep on Northern California and Bay Area college scenes. And they got a taste. And I think they got a massive taste nationally. And good on Cal and all the people showing up there. I know Evan was there. I know Sam Lubman was there. I know Lucas, nice guy Steven, KCBS now was over there. We had Guru out there. Everyone was out there. It was a great time. So shout out Cal, all the Cal fans for showing up there and showing out. A lot of Miami fans came out too. So shout out to them for making the trip. Tremendous game. Unfortunately, did not end well for Cal, but nonetheless, I think it was a win overall for them. For the 49ers, that was just a big fat loss. That was the worst loss of the weekend by far. 7.5 point home favorites. A team that you have owned. They hadn't won since 2021, I think I saw on the broadcast. Was that the Eno Benjamin, Colt McCoy game, the last time they actually won at Levi Stadium? Just unacceptable. It really was. I'm not here to blame Nick Sorensen today. I'm not. Does the 49ers defense have some problems? Absolutely. That game, though, yesterday was on the offense. Disagree? 888-957-9570. Here's Shanahan talking about blowing that 10-point lead.
Extremely frustrated. I think we had 13 points and 17 in the other. By no means should we be able to give that away. Always will come back to turnovers, in my opinion. There's other things you can do to overcome them. Talked about last night how we thought a key in this game would be turnovers, and that's exactly what the first half was. Gave us a huge advantage, and then it flipped in the second half, and when you do that, it's tough to win.
I want to hear from the defense. Fred Warner, the leader of that defense. What happened?
My first instinct is we got a quick game, quick turnaround. It's a unique situation. Obviously, you want to fix the problems that are going on out there. We had the game won and we gave it away. but you got to kind of wipe it and get on to the next. You know, it's not there's not really not any time to sulk or feel sorry for yourself. You got to move on.
Fred, Cardinals had 169 yards rushing. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, in the first half, it felt good. We obviously gave up that long one to Kyler. I wish we didn't give that up, of course, but other than that, I thought we were great. And then the second half, just kind of melt down, too much leaky yardage, missed tackles, not fitting it right, not good enough.
Bosa had the interception, not a lot else. What happened?
I think in all of our losses, the preparation we've had has been great, but teams are playing us different and doing things differently, and we need to adjust a little better. Just showing different looks and kind of than what we were looking at on tape. So just got to adjust and get them down.
Just got to adjust. But again, I'm not blaming the defense yesterday. I know a lot of people are going to blame that final drive and being, what the hell happened? Well, it took an incredible play on 4th and 5 from Kyler Murray to the rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. to even set the team up in a position to win. Let me hear that call.
4th down, 49ers jump and they get back outside. Blitz again. Murray in deep trouble. Backpedaling, throwing it up for Harrison. Oh, he's got it for a first down. A back foot throw to the rookie and they stay alive.
Wow. Incredible. But that's what happens when you let a team hang around. You don't put them away early. When you had a 23-10 lead and you felt like you're a touchdown away for putting them away. But you have 2 picks, get the fumble, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You lose the turnover battle at home, 100-degree heat on the field. You got 98% humidity, I guess, now today. It's just a recipe for disaster. It is. Bang, bang. Purdy threw a pick to end the game. That's a 5-1-0. That's a 5. That's a Monday morning 5. That's a good one. 888-957-9570. Brock Purdy did not have his greatest game. You know what? He deserves some criticism too. You throw 2 picks, both batted in the air like that, and that's a conversation we need to start having too. If someone could help me out, I don't know how you can find this, but if you can, 888-957-9570. The percentage of Purdy's interceptions thrown being from a deflected pass. Because there is something to his height in the pocket. You see it with Kyler a lot. He gets tipped passes and gets picked off. And it happens with Brock. Guys get their hands up there, tip balls. Happened twice, and you lose because of it. But that's why what he does most weeks is so impressive, because of his height and stature, being able to manipulate the pocket, move around, create arm angles and actions. Like, for his size, it's incredible. But with that size comes some drawbacks. You've seen it with Purdy. Yeah, and you'll see it with other guys. You've seen it with Russ. You saw it with Drew Brees. Just smaller guys. They get tipped in the air. Then it's a tip drill, and it's unfortunate. But Brock has got to be better about feeling that pressure, feeling that pass rush. Timing, anticipation, that is his strength. And you heard Tom Brady waxing poetically about it yesterday.
Well, hey, look, you've seen it before, but the first time seeing Brock Purdy live, what do you think?
Yeah, just impressed. And again, he's been in a lot of big games in the last couple years that I love, but he's very impressive. And I think what I notice is just this maturity about him. And I think we always want to talk about arm strength. We want to talk about how fast his 40 is. To me, can you process lots of information in a short period of time? Can you play with the anticipation? Can you be a great leader and dependable for the organization? He's all those things.
That's the GOAT saying that about your quarterback. So I know it feels like the sky's fallen today. Tom Brady does not wax poetically about guys like that just for funds, just for S's and giggles, if you will. That's Tom freaking Brady, greatest quarterback and maybe the greatest player in the history of the game, saying he's impressed by one Brock Purdy. Now, was it an impressive performance yesterday? No. At the time when he said that, was it? Sure. But again, not good enough from Purdy, not good enough from Mason, not good enough from Kittle, Debo. I know Kittle got the touchdown. I'm looking at everyone, though. Kittle had a big drop. He did. And then you start looking at that stuff at the end of the game being like, Could have had that one back. He had a couple drops. It happens. But in a game like that, when you're only scoring 16 points offensively, it bites you in the ass. And it did yesterday. Here's more from Shanahan talking about not letting this loss affect them throughout the week.
That's all we talked about on there.
You,
I mean, we'd love to sit here and get pissed, and we'd love to be able to do something about that, which just happened, but you can't. You can't do anything about these games once they end. I tell the guys the next time we'll be able to do something is Thursday, and it's better to only have to wait till Thursday than have to wait till next Sunday. So we'll come fast, but always when you have a Thursday night game, like we always say, the biggest thing is rest and recovery. So I hope they're getting out of that locker room close to when I get back. Hope they're home as fast as they can, get as much sleep as possible, stay off their legs tomorrow, just hydrate, rest, and come in Tuesday. We'll have a plan for them on Tuesday, and we'll get it all in on Tuesday and head out on Wednesday.
It's a short week for them, which means it's a short week for us. So we want to hear from you all day long today because we're reacting to this game. And then tomorrow, hell, it's kind of in Seahawks mode, right? 888-957-9570 is the number. What went wrong for the 49ers yesterday? Was it the offense? Was it the defense? Was it Kyle Shanahan? Was it Nick Sorensen? What happened yesterday, 49ers fans? I want to hear you voice your frustrations. 888-957-9570 is the number as the pregame show rolls on 95.7 The Game.
Did you know when you purchase lumber and building materials from Golden State, it's like picking a top athlete? We have staff just like the Pro Scouts for San Francisco's Orange and Black, who search the country for elite players. At Golden State, we pursue the best sources for wood and building materials in the industry. For the full list of Golden State's preferred partners, visit goldenstatelumber.com and click Brands. Proudly celebrating our 70th year, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000,
discounts for over 30 years. And The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Yo, this is the pregame show on 95.7 The Game with Joe Spadoni.
Damn right it is. Where else would you rather be? Right here, right now. 888-957-9570. I want to hear from Niner fans today. Cardinals storming back yesterday after being down 13 points. They win 24-23 the final. Both teams now 2-3. And the 49ers got a massive Thursday night showdown this week in Seattle against the Seahawks team that also just took a brutal loss. So they're reeling. Two teams that desperately need a win. And it's for first place in the NFC West. So yes, there is a massive game already. This weekend was a massive game. And you know what? We were kind of sleeping on it. As a station, as a fan base, as everyone. Who was excited about this? No, seriously. Who was looking at this game and being like, oh, we need to win this one. This is gotta win this one. There was just so much urgency attached. There wasn't a lot of urgency attached to this game. Just wasn't. Why was that? Because you thought you were going to sleep and beat the Cardinals. That's why. You thought you could sleep in a little bit and just, yeah. It's the Cardinals. They're not that great. We'll win. And the 49ers, honestly, kind of played like that in the second half. They thought they were good. 23-10. They're going to give up in a second. All right, Jordan Mason, do your thing. Let's take their souls. Let's grind it out. Let's win. And let's get out of here. Well, they were doing that for a little bit until...
First and goal, Mason on the pitch. As he gets to the edge, and he is... Fumble the football! Oh, boy! Everyone dial on the scrum. Who's got it? Arizona recovers! Oh, my goodness! It's Wilson who came out of the pile with it.
It's 2 weeks now. Jordan Mason fumbles. Kyle Shanahan, concerned?
And I'm never thinking that we're going to fumble, but we had one last week that we were able to recover and got one this week. He didn't have any look on the run. There wasn't nothing there, but when you're fighting for extra yards, you got to be smart with that ball, and it looked like he just got a little careless with it, and they knocked it out.
Those are the ones that always concern me too. When I'm a fan watching a game, it's those ones where you're clearly just get down. Don't fight for those ones. Two hands over the ball, two arms, just holding that sucker. Like you're holding that baby Bjorn, man, for the first time when you got your newborn. You don't want anything to happen to him. That's why you got to treat that ball. All right? You got the high and tight, everything. And you know what? They needed a play, Arizona, and they got it. The 49ers just needed a touchdown. They didn't get it. They didn't score in the second half. It's unbelievable. It's just crazy to me. That vaunted Arizona Cardinals defense, I didn't even know they had Sean Murphy Bunting. I heard Tom Brady around, so I was like, hey, he was your teammate over in Tampa. Kaiser White had a hell of a game. Budda Baker, he was flying all over the place. He had 12 total tackles. He had some big ones. Zaven Collins was making plays. Like, they were impressive. And give Jonathan Gannon, head coach, a lot of credit too. That was impressive. That was an impressive win. That being said, that was more so a gag job again from San Francisco. You have a double-digit lead over a division rival at home in those elements where it's a factor for both teams. When getting a lead like that is huge because you can nurse it and just wear down the other team, they weren't able to do that. The Cardinals didn't blink. They punched back. They leaned on James Conner and Kyler Murray late, and they won. And Tom Brady on the broadcast, I'm going to, because he was making some good points about the quarterback play, and specifically, they're going to need to lean on Kyler to win this game. And you know what? They did that. Kyler needed to put the game plan in his hands, and he did that. He was going at the line. He was checking in, checking out. He was making the right reads, whether it was a quarterback option, whether it was adjusting to run to the left or to the right side. And James Conner was patient. I thought he didn't rush the holes, and he kept getting 5, 6, 7 yards at a time and just running through people. He's always been a tough guy to bring down, but especially yesterday as the game wore on, the IVs were wearing off, the sweat, the blood, everything dripping off both players. James Conner was built for it. And the 49ers and Jordan Mason, they weren't yesterday. That's just how it was. From the Comcast Business Text line, 888-957-9570. JJ covered by safeties, burned us. Harrison Jr. covered by our third DB in the biggest spot is crazy. Isaac Yadam, it's a tough scene. He had some good coverage early on in that game, but that was tough. That was an incredibly tough scene. You lose Hufanga, wrist injury. He never returned. Just more injuries. And Jake Moody, again, high ankle sprain. Your kicker. What's going to happen here? I'd be shocked if he played this week. A high ankle sprain, man. Hell, that just held out Max Crosby. Guy never missed a snap. One of the toughest SOBs in the NFL. He missed a game for the first time last week due to a high ankle sprain. These things can linger. And for your kicker, yeah, I don't want to mess with that. So put him on ice, literally, and bring someone else in. Is Chase McLaughlin? He's still out there? No, he's actually on a team, isn't he, McLaughlin? Isn't he? He's in Tampa. That's right. I don't even know who's out there. What kickers are out there you can go get? I'm just trying to think of old Gostkowski. He's still out there. Vinatieri? He's still out there. He's up for like a Hall of Fame, isn't he? You gotta find someone. Who's that one guy? Nugent. Remember that? Was it Mike Nugent? Yeah, Mike Nugent. He's still out there. He's 42. Get it done. David Akers. What's he up to? Just start naming old kickers. Why not? Let's hear from the quarterback. Brock Purdy. What's going on in the red zone, man? 0 points in the second half?
Man, we just need to play better, and that starts with myself. Get down in the red zone. We got to execute and score touchdowns. There was multiple times where we could have pulled away significantly in the first half. Again, that starts with myself. And so there's that. And then second half, when defense is getting stops, we can't just turn the ball right back over. I mean, that's pretty plain as day. And so we just got to be better in that area and back up the defense when the defense is doing their thing. We have to be able to go down the field and execute and put points up on the board, not give the other team life. So we need to play better.
What's frustrating is, too, again, the goose egg in the second half, but you look at the box score at the end of the game, and it's always interesting because it separates who actually watched the game from the box score. Because if you just look at the box score on both sides, you're like, nothing really impressive outside of Brandon Ayuk, really. 8 receptions, 147 yards. Kittle was solid. 8 receptions, 64 yards, and a touchdown. But you look at Arizona, right? Michael Wilson, 5 receptions, 78 yards. Okay. I'll let Michael Wilson do that. Trey McBride, he had some good plays, but 6 receptions, 53 yards. All right. I mean, the guy you're worrying about was Marvin Harrison Jr. 2 receptions, 36 yards, but he had the play of the game. Again, this was the play of the game. 4th and 5. The playmakers for the Arizona Cardinals stepped up when the 49ers playmakers did not. One more time.
4th down, 49ers jump and they get back inside. Blitz again. Murray in deep trouble. Backpedaling, throwing it up for Harris. Oh, he's got it for a first down. A back foot throw to the rookie and they stay alive.
Wow. Just an incredible play. Kyler Murray, all 5'10" of him, just backpedaling, flicking it with his wrist with pressure in his face in a do-or-die play, and he lets his young stud wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. make a play. And that's what playmakers do. Like, I know Marvin Harrison, a lot of scrutiny this year. He's had some really good games, and he's been on a lot of just quiet games, but hit or miss. And he's not as a big personality. He's a lot like his dad in that regard. He's a lot taller and bigger than his dad was, but he's just like his dad personality-wise. He's not going to be flashy. He's gonna give you a handshake after a touchdown. He's gonna give you like some dap up. He's not gonna do anything huge celebration wise. But you know what? He's a damn good playmaker. And when they needed one, he stepped up. It was the play of the game. And again, an incredible finish yesterday and an incredible collapse from San Francisco. Now, was it as big of a collapse as Cal Berkeley? I don't think so. But I expect that from Cal. I don't expect that from San Francisco. Although, should I? Happened twice now. At SoFi Stadium, now at your home place. So, 888-957-9570. We're up against it. We got one more break and one more segment on the other side before handing it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. I want to hear from you if you're at the game. How damn hot was it? Were you one of those people at the concourse? You were sitting in the sun, you just couldn't handle it anymore? 888-957-9570. And did anyone, I want to hear from someone, was there anyone out there this morning listening that went to both the Cal game and then the Niners game the next day? If you did, I want to hear from you. God love you. 888-957-9570. As the pregame show, Joe Spadoni rolls on here on 95.7 The Game.
Low testosterone forcing you to ride the bench? Get back in the game, in the gym, or in the bedroom with Balance Medical Solutions.
Get in there.
Get into pole position. Go deep in the end zone.
Touchdown.
Knock one out of the park. With our support, you'll be making easy layups and scoring all the time. Ready for a hole-in-one?
listening to the pregame show with Joe Spadoni on 95.7 The Game.
Thank you, Andrew Wiggins. My favorite player. Now that we have that rejoin. My guy, Andrew Wiggins. I am buying stock in Andrew Wiggins, as Bonta Hill is as well.
I'm buying stock in Andrew Wiggins.
Big win for the Warriors. The University of Hawaii over the Clippers. There's too much other stuff happening this weekend. We didn't even talk about the baseball action. I get it. No Giants are in there. No. But Mets, Phillies, man. Nick Castellanos with the walk-off with a deep drive to left, one might say. Oh, it was just too good to be true.
I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went out over the air that I am deeply ashamed of. If I have hurt anyone out there, I can't tell you how much I say from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
Oh, it's all time. Tom Brenneman there, but Nick Castellanos with a deep drive to left. And apparently, ESPN wanted to do a story on him, an article, if you will, on all the crazy stuff that happens every time he hits a home run to left, a deep drive to left, or maybe it's just a home run at all. And Nick Castellanos is like, yeah, sure, but I would like, a final say, the editorial rights or whatever, just to make sure, I don't, if there's something that's I don't like in there, basically. And ESPN was like, no, we're not going to do that. So Castellanos was like, all right, well, then you're not going to write the story. Which is unfortunate because I think we'd all like to hear that story. Just the chronological nature of all the home runs he's hit as a professional. I think I did that for a final thought on the Morning Roast a couple months ago. And it's pretty incredible if you do a deep dive on Nick Castellanos' home runs and the coincidences, if you will, that take place during those days. But hell of a win for the Phillies to tie that series up as it heads and shifts to New York now, tied 1 apiece. It's been fun. You had a hell of a matchup between the Yankees and the Royals. There's like 5 or 6 different lead changes as New York is ahead in that series now. Padres, Dodgers has been spicy in all the best ways possible. You have Dodger fans just what an embarrassment yesterday at Chavez Ravine. Just throwing stuff at Fernando Tatis because he's just balling on that ass. Like, come on, be better. What are we doing? That series is tied, heading back to San Diego. 10-2 the final yesterday, by the way. Dodgers, I love the Padres heading in this series. I love them even more after yesterday. They're shook. The fan base, the players, Tatis, Machado, they're in their heads. And they're loving it. The flamboyant nature. Jerks and Profar doing a little Olay in the stands. Oh, I loved every second of it. Loved it. From the Xfinity mobile text line, check that. The Comcast business text line, 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text. Final thoughts here as the 49ers fall to the Arizona Cardinals 24-23. Goose egg in the second half for the 49ers offense. If you want to blame the defense, that's your prerogative. This is an offensive-driven team with an offensive head coach, and you score 16 points in today's NFL on offense, you're not going to win games. It's just, I don't care who you're playing against. You can be playing against Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers. You are not going to win that game. You can be playing against Gardner Minshew and the Las Vegas Raiders in a dumpster fire they are. You're scoring 16 points, you're not going to win. And especially if it's against a divisional opponent and especially against a guy like Kyler Murray that is capable of getting hot like he did yesterday. Hell, first series of the game, he sets the tone.
Pistol formation here. It is Murray to keep it design. Oh, Kyler Murray! Turn on the afterburners. He's gone.
The afterburners. He literally threw up the deuces. He said peace. He did the cheetah, the Tyreek Hill at the 40-yard line of the 49ers. And he knew he was gone. That's so disrespectful. Oh my God. Devondre Campbell was literally he looked like he was falling over trying to get him. No one could catch him. And that's a problem. And I saw Bonte tweet it out. I saw a lot of people tweet, they looked slow. Fred Warner looked compromised. Nick Bosa, he had the pick. He had a couple tackles for losses, but no sacks. I guess Leonard Floyd had a sack at one point yesterday. It must have just been and other than that, I didn't really hear his name called. He had a tackle for loss. Great. But again, not enough people making plays offensively, defensively. Lose Hufanga. Jair Brown got hurt. He came back. Lost Jake Moody, your kicker, asking to throw a monkey wrench into everything. You had Wisnowski. He made one, but I don't think they were very confident in his abilities later. You had Kyle Juszczyk, yucking it up on the sidelines during everything that was happening with the injury and stuff like that. Was not a great look. Just overall for the 49ers this weekend, it looked like they took the Arizona Cardinals lightly. That's what it looked like to me. You can't do that. And speaking of the kicker situation, here's Kyle Shanahan talking about it yesterday.
They'll work on that stuff right away with kickers. They're almost independent contractors, so we'll get them in as fast as possible and get that best guy we can. And I'm sure it'll have to be for a few weeks, whatever. I'm not sure, but I know they told me a high ankle, and that's never soon.
So for a few weeks, independent contractors, which they basically are, get hired assassins, right? And we'll see what happens. Use tryouts, kind of like the Death Star in Empire Strikes Back when he had Darth Vader talking to all the different bounty hunters. That's what Kyle Shanahan's going to be doing with kickers. He's going to be looking at the Boba Fett's of the world, right? If I could name any of the others assassins, I would. There was that android one that we saw in Mandalorian. I forget his name. But that's basically what's going to be happening here. Independent contractors coming up, and we'll see. Hell, maybe they should get the kid from Cal with his Vans that won the $100,000. That's what I'd like to see. Get him a tryout. Kid was amazing. Was that the first make of College Game Day, too, of this year? Making the field goal? See, it was Cal's weekend. I don't care if they lost the game. Cal Berkeley owned the weekend here in the Bay. Absolutely. All right. From the Comcast Business text line, if kickers are such independent contractors, why did you spend a third rounder on a kicker? Well, in this situation, they are. 415. In this situation, they are. You don't anticipate your kicker making a tackle and his ankle getting twisted backwards. That's what happened to Jake Moody yesterday on a kickoff return. Wasn't great, but I'm not going to get mad at Jake Moody in this situation because, it's football, man. Like that stuff happens. It's unfortunate, but maybe that was the difference between saving a touchdown. And then are we getting on the kicker? Because there's a lot of times when you see kickers make business decisions or punters, and that's the difference in a game. And then we're crushing that player all week long. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. He made a play. He made the tackle. I would like for him to, not do that. But at the same time, you can't get mad at him. That's football. Kyle Shanahan talked about that yesterday. He's like, I'm not going to get mad at my guy for trying to make a play. It's football. People get hurt. It sucks. High ankle sprain. It's not a devastating injury, but it could be an injury that lingers. And if it lingers throughout the season and it takes, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 yards off of what is normal for Jake Moody. So let's say, and he's got a leg, maybe it's a 55-yard field goal. Do you feel as confident in his ability for the rest of the season if this thing lingers on? Hell, if it's a 50-yard field goal, do you feel confident in his leg as the season goes on? Something you got to monitor. So rest is key. But again, for as much as we like to dog on Jake Moody and his ability and his inability and spending a third-round pick on him, he's made a lot of big kicks. And you're going to find out sooner rather than later how important a kicker is that you can trust. You saw it with Dallas yesterday. Aubrey. Guy's been money for them. You've seen it in years past. I think of Justin Tucker. Forever. He made a huge kick yesterday to tie it up late as the Ravens would get a massive win over their division rival and the Bengals and Joe Burrow. And I'm not mad at Joe Burrow. He's been amazing the last couple weeks. Defense, though, yikes for Cincinnati. There's been a lot of just shocking results week in and week out. But I just did not see the Cincinnati Bengals defense being this awful. Not even close. But going back to the kickers, It just, when you have a good one, it feels good. And when you don't have a good one, it feels bad, just to put it bluntly. And we're going to find out sooner rather than later for San Francisco if they have found a right replacement, at least for a few weeks. So hopefully Moody comes back and it doesn't linger. All right. We got about a minute left. 888-957-9570 is the number. Start lining them up for Bonte and Shasky because they're fired up. Just, again, the offense for me was the biggest disappointment of the weekend for San Francisco. Just, you have Brock Purdy, you have your guy, you have Ayuk having the game he has, the game of the year for him, 8 receptions, 147 yards. He was incredible. He's making catch after catch after catch. The one over the middle where he was just out extended, perfect ball placement from Purdy with pressure in his face, only where his guy can make it. High points the ball, just the hands were there, the confidence was there. And it feels like you let the Cardinals off the hook. Let them hang around. A guy as dynamic as Kyler Murray. And something about the Cardinals, man. I don't know what it is. Whether it's Steve Wilkes when he was head coach over there and Josh Rosen was his quarterback, whether it's Cliff Kingsbury and he had Colt McCoy, or whether it's Jonathan Gannon now with Kyler Murray. Just something about the Cardinals. Just upsetting the 49ers at Levi Stadium, too. I'm sure Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky have many a thought on that because the Morning Roast is up next. Have a good morning, everybody.
You're listening to 95.7 The